Narcissistic people will not be able to live alone. Have you ever encountered someone who constantly craves the spotlight, drawing energy from the admiration of others, while seemingly unable to stand on their own? The world of narcissism is both intriguing and complex, as it unveils a psychological framework where individuals often oscillate between high self-confidence and profound insecurity. In today's exploration, we will uncover the layers of narcissistic behavior, focusing on the paradox of their relationships and the unsettling truth that narcissistic individuals often cannot thrive in solitude. By the end, you will have gained profound insights into why these personalities struggle with loneliness and the implications that arise from their need for constant validation. In this video, we will delve into the essence of narcissism and its manifestations, highlighting how this condition affects not only the individuals involved, but also their relationships and social interactions. This expansive discussion will aid in understanding the dynamics that compel narcissists to seek out relationships, making it abundantly clear why living alone can be a daunting prospect for them. So, buckle up as we embark on this illuminating journey. Imagine a person who seems perpetually at the center of attention, effortlessly charming those around them with their charisma and self-assuredness. This is the Adept Narcissist, displaying an inflated sense of self-worth and a compelling need for admiration. Yet, beneath this confident exterior lies a fragile self-esteem that is precariously dependent on external sources. The narcissist's reliance on others for validation creates an intrinsic vulnerability. When alone, they are often confronted with the reality of their insecurities, leading to an internal turmoil they desperately seek to escape. Understanding narcissism begins with recognizing its more defined traits. Narcissistic individuals may exhibit grandiosity, a tendency to exaggerate their achievements, and an intense focus on their own desires, while showing little regard for the emotions of others. They thrive on flattery and depend on social interactions to maintain their elevated self-image. However, this apparent confidence often masks a deep-rooted fear of insignificance, making the absence of social affirmation challenging for them. When left alone, narcissists can feel overwhelmed by feelings of emptiness and self-doubt, which are difficult to avoid. Now, before we dive deeper into the motivations and behaviors of narcissistic individuals, I'd like to take a moment to encourage you to subscribe to our channel, like this video, and share it with anyone who may find value in understanding complex psychological dynamics. Your support makes it possible for us to continue creating content that illuminates critical issues in mental health and relationships. As we explore narcissism, keep in mind that this topic touches on the heart of human connection and the consequences of self-centered behavior. Narcissistic individuals often fall into a predictable pattern when it comes to relationships. Attracting admiration is easy for them. They can be magnetic charmers, presenting themselves as extraordinary and fascinating. However, the deeper consequences of their self-importance become apparent as time goes on. Infatuation can quickly turn into disillusionment as their self-centered behaviors emerge, leaving partners feeling neglected, unappreciated, and ultimately discarded. This cycle of idealization and devaluation creates a toxic atmosphere that leaves substantial emotional trauma for those involved. The narcissist must have continuous affirmation. Loneliness can feel like an emotional abyss. The moment someone turns away from them, they enter a state of anxiety that breeds feelings of inadequacy. These feelings compel them to either reach out for companionship or behave manipulatively to draw friends, family, or partners back into their orbit. This cycle elucidates why narcissistic individuals are so fearful of being alone. The absence of validation threatens their very sense of self. One of the most compelling aspects of narcissism is the struggle with emotional regulation. When faced with solitude, these individuals can swing from anxious anticipation to overwhelming despair. Research shows that a significant proportion of narcissists exhibit symptoms of depression when they do not receive the attention they crave. When surrounded by others, they can maintain a facade of confidence, but isolation strips away that illusion, leaving them vulnerable. This emotional volatility leads them to cling to relationships, creating an insidious dependency on those who may not contribute positively to their well-being. Furthermore, narcissists are frequently drawn to relationships that reinforce their self-image. They may seek out friends and partners who admire them without question and tolerate their demanding nature. These relationships often devolve into cycles of manipulation, where the narcissist expects their needs to come first. Friends and family members can find themselves caught in a web of guilt and obligation, feeling compelled to meet the emotional whims of the narcissist lest they experience backlash, emotional withdrawal, or sudden anger. In professional contexts, narcissists often exhibit stellar self-promotion skills, climbing the corporate ladder with remarkable speed. Their confidence can lead to initial success. However, their inability to foster teamwork generates isolation in the workplace. Colleagues can swiftly grow tired of their self-absorbed tendencies, creating an environment of tension and frustration. When they find themselves alone after failed interactions, either in personal or professional spheres, the narcissist grapples with feelings of rejection and inadequacy, further exacerbating their anxiety and driving them back into the pursuit of attention and validation. Romantic relationships involving narcissists often involve cycles of adoration and disillusionment. Initially, partners may be swept off their feet by the passion and excitement that narcissists offer. However, once the initial allure fades, the self-centeredness of the narcissist can leave their partners feeling helpless and inadequate. As the emotional roller coaster of idealization transitions into prolonged periods of neglect and criticism, the partner's emotional well-being diminishes, while the narcissist continues seeking validation from new sources. This relentless quest for affirmation means the narcissist will repeatedly pursue new connections, leading to a history of unstable partnerships. The impact of narcissism is not confined solely to the narcissist, but extends to everyone within their sphere. Friends, family members, and romantic partners often pay a steep price for being involved with a narcissistic individual. Manipulative tactics, such as guilt and shame, are frequently employed to maintain control over others, creating a toxic atmosphere where people feel obliged to cater to the narcissist's needs. Such dynamics diminish the quality of relationships and contribute to widespread emotional distress for everyone involved. Notably, narcissism exists on a spectrum. While some may display mild traits, others exhibit severe symptoms of narcissistic personality disorder, marked by a pervasive lack of empathy. Those at the extreme end may view others merely as tools to enhance their self-image. This inability to recognize or empathize with the feelings of others can lead to a profound sense of isolation when they are alone, intensifying their struggle and loneliness. Conversely, those with milder narcissistic traits may still feel connections occasionally, yet they may revert to self-centered patterns during moments of stress or insecurity. This inconsistency leads to confusion and frustration in their relationships, as partners find it difficult to predict their behavior. Such unpredictability renders a stable connection precarious, fostering a sense of loneliness in narcissists when they are alone. The capacity for growth and change is crucial to our discussion on narcissism. Although narcissistic traits can be deeply ingrained, the potential for self-awareness and emotional growth exists. Therapeutic intervention, such as counseling or group therapy, can provide narcissists with insights to understand their patterns, motivations, and, crucially, the impact their behavior has on others. By nurturing empathy and learning to foster genuine connections, narcissists can break free from the cycle of dependency that has dictated their relationships. Imagine a scenario where a narcissist engages in genuine self-reflection and acknowledges the hardships they have inflicted on others. They begin to understand that meaningful relationships require more than mere admiration. They require vulnerability, mutual support, and shared experiences. As they commit to personal development, they become more capable of forming connections built on layers of trust and respect. As we draw this exploration to a close, it's essential to stress the importance of awareness when it comes to narcissism. Understanding the motivations behind narcissistic behavior fosters compassion and empathy, not only for ourselves, but for those who struggle with these traits. While it's easy to dismiss narcissists as selfish and self-absorbed, recognizing their underlying insecurities and fears allows us to navigate relationships with more nuance. Thank you for joining us in this video, Thoughtful Inquiry into the Complexities of Narcissism. Our exploration reveals the intricate dynamics at play, the longing for connection intertwined with an intense fear of solitude. If you found this discussion enlightening, please take a moment to subscribe, like this video, and share it with anyone who may gain from these insights. Together, we can foster deeper understanding and compassion in our relationships, ultimately supporting one another in our shared human experience. The narcissist can't cope with losing you. Have you ever experienced the unsettling feeling of being in a relationship with someone who seems to thrive on your attention and admiration, only to become a shadow of themselves when you consider leaving? The truth is, narcissists are often unable to cope with the idea of losing someone who has been a source of validation and self-worth for them. Their reactions can be dramatic, manipulative, and even destructive, leaving you to wonder how someone who once seemed so confident could crumble at the thought of losing you. In this article, we will explore the psychological dynamics at play when a narcissist faces the prospect of losing a significant relationship. We will delve into their emotional responses, the tactics they employ to regain control, and the profound impact this can have on their partners. By the end, you will have a clear understanding of why narcissists struggle so deeply with loss and how to navigate the complexities of these relationships. Welcome, everyone. I'm thrilled to have you here today as we dive into this critical and often painful topic. If you're new to the channel, please take a moment to subscribe, like this video, and share it with anyone who might benefit from this information. Understanding the dynamics of narcissistic relationships is essential for protecting your emotional well-being and navigating these complex interactions more effectively. So, let's get started. Narcissists are often characterized by an inflated sense of self-importance, a constant need for admiration, and a profound lack of empathy for others. They can be incredibly charming and persuasive, drawing people in with their charisma and confidence. However, beneath this alluring exterior lies a fragile self-esteem that is heavily reliant on external validation. When a narcissist feels threatened by the possibility of losing someone who has been a source of admiration, their reactions can be intense and unpredictable. This is because, for them, losing you is not just about the end of a relationship. It represents a significant blow to their self-image and identity. One of the most striking aspects of a narcissist's inability to cope with loss is their tendency to react with anger and aggression. When faced with the prospect of losing you, they may lash out, attempting to manipulate or control the situation to regain their sense of power. This can manifest in various ways, from verbal outbursts to passive-aggressive behavior. They may resort to insults, threats, or guilt-tripping in an effort to make you feel responsible for their emotional turmoil. This aggressive response is often a defense mechanism, a way for them to protect their fragile self-esteem by projecting their insecurities onto you. In addition to anger, narcissists may also engage in a behavior known as love bombing when they sense that you are pulling away. This tactic involves overwhelming you with affection, attention, and promises of change in an attempt to win you back. They may shower you with compliments, gifts, and declarations of love, creating a whirlwind of emotions that can leave you feeling confused and conflicted. This sudden shift in behavior is not genuine. Rather, it is a desperate attempt to regain control and prevent the loss of someone who validates their self-worth. It's important to recognize that this love bombing is often short-lived, as the underlying issues that led to the relationship's problems remain unaddressed. Another common tactic employed by narcissists when faced with the prospect of losing you is manipulation through guilt. They may attempt to make you feel responsible for their emotional state, insisting that your decision to leave will cause them unbearable pain. Phrases like, "You'll be the reason I'm unhappy," or "I can't live without you," are often used to evoke feelings of guilt and obligation. This manipulation can be incredibly effective, as it plays on your empathy and desire to avoid causing harm to others. However, it's crucial to remember that their emotional well-being is not your responsibility. You are not obligated to stay in a relationship that is unhealthy or damaging to your mental health. The fear of abandonment is a powerful motivator for narcissists, and it often drives their desperate attempts to cling to relationships. This fear is rooted in their deep-seated insecurities and the belief that they are unworthy of love and connection. When faced with the possibility of losing you, they may experience a profound sense of panic, leading them to engage in increasingly desperate behaviors. This can include stalking, incessant texting or calling, and even attempts to sabotage your new relationships. Their inability to cope with loss can lead to obsessive behaviors that not only invade your privacy, but also create an atmosphere of fear and anxiety. As you navigate the complexities of a relationship with a narcissist, it's essential to recognize the patterns of behavior that emerge when they feel threatened. Understanding these dynamics can empower you to set boundaries and protect your emotional well-being. It's important to remember that their reactions are not a reflection of your worth or value. Rather, they are indicative of their own internal struggles and insecurities. The emotional toll that narcissists inflict on their partners can be profound and long-lasting. Victims of narcissistic abuse often experience anxiety, depression, and a diminished sense of self-worth. The pain inflicted by narcissists is not just a fleeting experience. It can leave deep scars that take years to heal. This emotional turmoil can be seen as a reflection of the demons within narcissists, as their inability to connect with others on a genuine level leads to a cycle of pain and suffering. Research has shown that narcissists often struggle with deep-seated insecurities and a fragile self-esteem. Despite their outward confidence, they are often plagued by feelings of inadequacy and fear of rejection. This internal conflict can drive them to seek validation and admiration from others, often at the expense of those around them. The more they manipulate and control others, the more they reinforce their own sense of superiority, creating a vicious cycle that perpetuates their destructive behavior. One of the most troubling aspects of narcissism is the lack of empathy that these individuals often exhibit. Empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of others, and it is a crucial component of healthy relationships. However, narcissists often struggle to empathize with those around them, viewing relationships as transactional rather than genuine connections. Your feelings and needs are secondary to their own, and they may disregard or even exploit your vulnerabilities. This emotional neglect can be incredibly damaging, leaving you feeling isolated, unappreciated, and emotionally depleted. It's like living in a world where your voice is never heard, your feelings never acknowledged. So, what can you do if you find yourself entangled in a relationship with a narcissist? The first step is to recognize the signs of narcissistic behavior. Pay attention to how someone makes you feel. Do you constantly feel anxious, insecure, or criticized in their presence? Do they consistently disregard your feelings or needs? Do they manipulate situations to their advantage? If so, it's time to reevaluate the relationship. Trust your intuition. It's often the first sign that something is amiss. Building healthy boundaries is crucial for protecting yourself from narcissistic abuse. This means setting limits on what you're willing to tolerate and communicating those limits clearly and assertively. It's about saying no when you need to, prioritizing your own needs, and refusing to be manipulated or controlled. It's about reclaiming your power and taking control of your life. Seeking support from friends, family, or a therapist is also essential. Talking about your experiences can help you process your emotions and gain a clearer perspective on the situation. A therapist can provide guidance and support as you navigate the complexities of narcissistic abuse and work towards healing. Remember, you are not alone in this struggle. Healing from narcissistic abuse takes time and effort. It involves rebuilding your self-esteem, re-establishing your sense of self, and learning to trust your instincts. It's a journey of self-discovery and empowerment, a process of reclaiming your life and creating a future free from manipulation and control. It's about finding your own inner strength and resilience. In conclusion, the narcissist's inability to cope with losing you is a reflection of their deep-seated insecurities and emotional turmoil. Their reactions can be intense and manipulative, leaving you feeling confused and drained. However, by recognizing the signs of narcissistic behavior, setting healthy boundaries, and seeking support, you can protect yourself from their toxic influence and reclaim your life. Thank you for joining me in this exploration of narcissism and its impact on our lives. If you found this discussion enlightening, please consider subscribing, liking, and sharing this content. Your support helps us continue to delve into these important topics, fostering a deeper understanding of human behavior and the complexities of relationships. Remember, you deserve to be treated with kindness, respect, and compassion. Never settle for less.